Hey, here we are, Harry and Miguel, at the town hall.
Oh,
And a lot of stuff coming down the pike. Monday is a forum at the town hall. And the question on the last show on Freedom Network, question came up, why, how many forums? Well, you have to have this forum. It's required by the state law. The state has a checklist that you have to go through, opening up your marijuana store. And one of them is to have a forum for the public, so the public can decide if this is okay with them. I guess, I don't know, if there's any problems with it. The marijuana thing is quite the thing. I mean, you know, here we are, what's strange, here we are legalizing marijuana everywhere, and Hawaii's talking about banning tobacco entirely. I don't know if you heard about that.
I didn't hear about
They're
that.
going to start that if you won't be able to buy any tobacco product if you're under 21, then it's going to move up to like 32 or 33, and then move up to 50, and eventually you have to be 100 years old to buy a tobacco product. But you'll be able to buy marijuana if you're 5 years old.
I heard about you hear about that doctor that prescribed marijuana to a 4-year-old or something, and it was
I haven't heard that for a 4-year-old.
that he got on the national news because I don't know whether he knew he was prescribing to a 4-year-old, but he prescribed pot to a 4-year-old.
Oh my God, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah.
Well, you know that a lot of doctors come out and said that it's not a problem. They don't see a problem with any brain damage if you're an adult. But people under 21, the brain hasn't fully developed. And it can cause brain damage, especially with a heavy use.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I mean.
Well, I did read a little bit about that too recently. I mean, I don't have a precise stand on how I feel about the shops and so forth, but I was reading a little bit about some studies that they made where they made somewhat of a link between heavy pot smoking and psychotic kind of behavior and violent behavior.
I mean, if it alters your brain, alters your mind, alters your brain physically too. Come on, it's got to. How can you deny that?
Yeah, I just don't. I'm thinking. I mean, we think about alcohol, for example, and
alcohol is a fact that damages brain cells.
Yeah, but how do you? The question is, how do you deal with the situation now? What we're dealing with is sort of what was happening maybe back in the 1930s or so, where prohibition or whatever with alcohol.
Yeah, it didn't work.
So, didn't work, but then we see. I'm just thinking we may see in time we may see a fallout of heavy use if that happens when all these things begin to.
Well, you can't regulate how much people use something because if it's legal and it's available.
Yeah.
You know, that's why not all smokers develop heart disease or cancer from smoking. There's some smokers that live to be pretty damn old.
Yeah.
Here it comes down to usage. Probably they don't smoke but heavy smokers, in most cases, heavy smokers end up with something, a smoking-related disease. Well, if you're smoking marijuana, I mean, come on, there's got to be tar there. It can't tell me that it's safer than tobacco. It's got to be just as bad.
Yeah.
If you're a heavy smoker, it's like a heavy drinker. I mean, I drink alcohol. I don't drink a lot of it. I can't remember now the last time I had a beer. It's been a few weeks now.
Yeah.
I like beer, but I'm diabetic, so I stay away from it. You know.
It's low sugar in beer.
And I have a wine occasionally, but not much.
Yeah, but there's also a different stigma to pot that doesn't exist anymore. I suppose at one point there must have been a stigma towards alcohol.
Oh, God.
kinda
Well,
get
well, no,
raised.
what came about with the prohibition of alcohol, that started probably 50 years prior to the prohibition, actually, the Halsted Act being passed.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually went into the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened was you had the a movement. What do they call it now? Was a movement to stop people from drinking, close the bars down because, it would claim that men would get drunk and beat their wives and
Mm-hmm.
do things they shouldn't do,
Yeah.
and all stem from alcohol. And back then, primarily, you didn't drink so much at home as you did in the bars. The bars where people drank. You actually went down to the bar with an empty bucket or a pail, and they filled it up with beer.
Is that right?
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
yeah. That's where the song, my bucket, no, I can't remember. It was Hank Williams' song about filling up a bucket of beer. Anyway, that's where it came from. You filled up your bucket with beer, and they gave you drink. It was cheap, like 10 cents, and you got a bucket full of beer,
Mm-hmm.
and it was no age limit too.
Oh.
Yeah, you could send your kids down to get your beer.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is also concerning the marijuana thing is the medicinal purposes argument, and I also read a little bit about that on how I think it was a guy that actually the co-founder of one of the big marijuana legalization movements. He sort of admitted that, well, the reason why we wanted to put it in this frame is because we kind of want to make it easy for the recreational users, which I
Right.
suspected, that, all right, yeah, some people do use marijuana for medicinal purposes, but I never thought that there weren't enough drugs out there for people who had problems, illnesses. And
Yeah, but for medicinal, they're up here, and it has some good uses. I know of people who have had chemotherapy, which can make you very ill.
yeah,
They found that the marijuana helped them feel better, and yeah, that's a good reason. I think one of the problems that arises, though, it's a drug that's easy to use anywhere, and now people getting high and driving, and how do you tell?
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, they're the same with alcohol, I guess.
Well, alcohol, they can do a breathalyzer test on the scene.
I know, but there's the same problem of people abusing alcohol and they're getting behind the wheel. So,
Oh, yeah.
it's just,
Right.
so.
Yeah, and we
just a
found
concerns.
that the crackdown over the last 20 years has really made a difference too, and people don't
Yeah.
look at. We used to have a ton of bars in town. We have very few now, and one of the reasons is people are afraid to drink in the bar because when you leave, you can get stopped and lose your license. So you don't see as much drinking like that anymore. You do see some, but like I said, it's not as what it was years ago. And
So the issue would be probably then mainly the abuse then of the substance.
but anything can be abused.
Yeah.
The thing is, too, now, I understand there's a movement in, I think it's California, to legalize mushrooms. I'm talking psychedelic mushrooms.
Wow.
The mushrooms that can make you high.
Not the ones you eat for your salad? Or anything
No,
like
not
that?
the, no, not
Different kind of
those.
mushrooms.
Yeah, those are like politicians.
It's California, so
Right.
there's a lot of things that happen in
Yeah,
California here.
and they call, they cause you to have hallucinatory mushrooms. And that, not to make them legal to buy, but they'll be legal for you to possess and to grow. But the other thing be a problem too, because I guess you can overdose on those very easily if you're not careful. But I mean, God, I remember back in the '60s, the rumor came out that you could smoke banana peels. You dried them out, and it got you high.
But it's not
And there
true.
were people that were drying out banana peels so they could smoke them. I mean, some people are just desperate to get high for some reason.
Mm,
Myself, I don't want to be high. I want to be in control all the time.
mm. That's one thing I think about sometimes is, are you using whatever it is drug that has become that has been legalized? Are you using it just so that you can get wasted? You know, because part of the thing that why alcohol lost this stigma is because you kind of transferred it to the social drinker kind of picture where, oh, it's
Right,
okay to drink because you're with your friends and you're not drinking so you can get inebriated. You
right.
just, you know, so.
I mean, I don't, a lot of times I just get a Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi, but
Mm,
we go to a restaurant, the wife and I'll have a beer with my meal. That's it. I have one beer with the meal. And a good beer can be a meal in itself.
yeah.
But I don't want to get drunk.
Mm,
I want to be in control.
that makes sense.
But there was a time when I did get drunk. I admit that. I'm not going to lie about it. And I'm not embarrassed by it when I was a lot younger. But then I look back on it, I say, you know, those were points where I could have done something or said something or had a serious accident. It was stupid. So I don't
Mm,
want to do that anymore. But that's my own personal feeling.
yeah.
Uh, but with the marijuana, like I say, I don't care. People want to have a good time. Doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to buy it. I wouldn't pay those prices anyway.
So it's gonna be pretty expensive then.
Oh yeah, I guess one joint is, marijuana cigarettes like $20 or 25. I don't know. It's pretty expensive, I guess.
So does that mean that the stuff that's going to be on the streets is probably gonna be not as clean as,
Well, that's the other thing. The stuff you get on the street, you don't know what it is. You don't know where it came from.
yeah.
And here again, part of the problem with it, did they fertilize it with something, kill off bugs or something? They use insecticides on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they did, you're smoking that stuff.
Mm.
It's part of the leaf. It sticks to it. So,
Mm.
you know, if when the stuff you buy in the stores, it has to be inspected. It's checked. It's grown under totally controlled conditions.
Mm-hmm.
It's inspected by an independent laboratory. So it pretty much is safe as far as being natural, whereas the stuff you buy on the street, who knows where it was grown, who knows what was put into it. Sometimes they cut it with other stuff.
Mm.
So, it'd be the same as buying prescription medicines on the street. You don't know where they came from or what they were. You know, if you ever see the pharmacist at the drugstore, when they bottling it, they don't touch the stuff. They cut it they have a special
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sorter, and they sort it on a tray. Well, you buy something on the street, how do you know where that was? How do you know how they got it here? How they snuck it into the country?
Yeah.
You know, they might have swallowed it and got it out in the other end. They do with drugs all the time.
The mules.
Yeah, the mules. You see them, they get caught, and
Yeah.
you know, which there's another thing too. Why would you? I don't care how much money is involved. You imagine a bag of that stuff breaks open in your cocaine, you're dead.
Yeah.
And let's face it, that stuff could break. I mean,
Break at a bad moment. Yeah.
yeah. Not to mention the fact you got to get it out of you. I wouldn't want to be the guy who has to do the receiving.
Oh
I
boy.
mean, but people go to drastic means to get anything done.
It's money.
Yeah, money's the big thing. But that's why they say, well, we're legalizing it. It's going to take a, but they said that with the lottery. I remember when the lottery came in. It was in the early '70s. I think 1970 was the first. Yeah, 1970 was the first lottery in Massachusetts. They got it, and it started as one drawing a week,
Yeah.
and the tickets were 50 cents. Now you go out there, they got scratch tickets for $50.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, what do you? I know it brings money into the state, and they use the money in the cities and towns, and that's all well and good. But boy, talk about you causing problems for some families. It cannot help. You got if you got somebody who's got a gambling problem, the
Yeah,
state's really promoting it.
yeah. I
You know,
guess
back
that's,
when you had the numbers games and it was illegal, yeah, you still had the problem, but you didn't have it as much
mm,
because you had to know someone to get into the numbers game, and they didn't charge as much. And of course, the winning was tax free,
mm,
whereas the lottery isn't. But they didn't do it. Now we got a game every day, and we got you walk into these stores and it's a wall of scratch tickets.
mm.
So how many people are just blowing money on that?
A lot of people apparently.
See, here again, though, I don't care. It's fine with me because I look at the lottery as being a voluntary tax.
Yeah.
You buy tickets, you're paying a tax, but you're paying it because you want to. I don't have to pay it. I don't buy lottery tickets. I might buy a couple when they got those $1 billion drawings. I say, what the heck? I'll waste a couple of bucks because you never know.
You never know.
But then again, I don't know if I win that much money, I don't know. It's got to change your life drastically.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
You're gonna have people that know you that you never knew, right?
It's a whole
I mean,
different ball game.
You'd have to change. The first thing you have to do is change your phone number
Mm.
and hide out. Really, I just everybody because you can't. You're gonna have the scammers and the people looking for loans and everything else, thinking, hey, you got tons of money.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to get large amounts of money very suddenly like that. Because
No.
if you haven't handled it before, it's probably might be a big challenge for you.
There was a TV show for a while. I never watched it, but about people who what happened to them after they won.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah, a
them
lot of people end up
not so good.
no, right, worse
Yeah.
off than if they hadn't won.
Oh, it makes sense because you suddenly can come in upon
Yeah.
stuff that you never had before that you really don't know how to handle.
Right.
So.
But anyway, on the marijuana, there is a forum Monday night at the Selectmen, so people concerned about it should stop in. I know we have a proposal for a marijuana store over by Walmart,
Hmm.
and another one proposed is over behind the other side of the medical center. That's down on Church Street. You bottom end of Church Street,
Hmm.
the building in the back.
Oh, okay, that building used to be. It had the pet thing now. Paw Planet is back there or something.
No, they had, there's a dentist
Yeah,
back
don't
there.
they have a pet shop thing now back there too? I think I saw a sign. It's right in that entrance where there's the hair place.
Oh, no, you're thinking of the old hospital.
Also, where is
Yeah,
this
that's now Paw Steps
yeah.
and Valley Pet Spa.
So where's the marijuana thing?
No, after you go down the corner, where the lights are,
Yeah,
keep going, heading toward Milford,
yeah.
the medical center down there.
Oh, the Blackstone Valley new
Yeah,
buildings that they
Blackstone
have back
Valley
there?
Physicians.
Yeah.
In the back, there's another building.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes.
Back there they're gonna
And I
put.
think there was a OBYGYN doctors in there. I think that part closed. I'm not sure which one of them closed in there. So they got some empty space in there, and that's where a company who was putting the cultivating place in Riverdale
Mm-hmm.
wants to put a retail store there.
Hmm.
And here again, with planning board, we have to look at all that. I don't have any problem with it. To me, it's out of the way. And here again, like I say, I mean, I'm not going to buy any because I have no interest. But people want to buy it. That's fine with me.
How are they gonna address it? One thing I've been hearing a lot lately is young kids, very young, starting to smoke pot. What's up with that? What's the story?
Well,
there?
yeah, see here again. Young kids drink,
Yeah.
use alcohol. There's young kids addicted to opioids. it's tough. I mean, as a parent, you know, you're a parent.
Yeah,
Your daughters are grown up now, right?
they're mostly grown up. The
Yeah.
oldest 18, the youngest is 18 now. So,
Yeah, but you had to go through that period. You had to sweat.
yeah.
You got to sweat that they get into drugs. You don't. Yeah, you do everything you can. You try to be a good parent. You
Do
try
the
to.
best you can.
Yeah.
But what does that? What do the marijuana lobby plans to do? I wonder about that to try to maybe prevent that because.
Well, that's what they should do. Is what they made the tobacco companies do, and run commercials. To just to.
Smoke responsibly.
Yeah, what they do. Actually, the beer companies do that.
Yeah, drink
And
responsibly.
the alcohol. You know why they do that? They don't want to get sued.
Ah, yeah, okay.
They don't want some lawyers putting together a class action lawsuit.
So that could be a whole nother page that could lawsuits and things like that when it comes to
Yeah.
marijuana issue too.
Yeah,
That could.
that's a possibility. You could have a class action lawsuit by saying that they're advertising, but I don't think they're allowed to advertise. I think it's very limited on their advertising. Not that they need to, the ones that have opened up so far.
Yeah.
But here again, what's going to happen when you get a lot of stores open, retail stores selling marijuana? Now you're spreading the business out. So you don't have just 2 stores like we did at one point.
Retail stores, you think we'll start doing that? I guess probably, right?
I don't
in
know
the
if I don't know if the law how much it lets them advertise. I
Oh.
doubt they can do electronic media. I haven't seen any in the
No,
the
but I'm
print.
wondering if in the future looks like, let's say, for example, Walmart starting to put marijuana on their shelves, you know.
No, you won't know because the state law wouldn't allow it.
Okay.
You have to be licensed store for it.
Well, you have like cigarettes at Walmart, for example,
Right,
right? But the cashier has.
right,
I
but
wonder if the days coming
yeah.
when they'll be putting pot there or something.
oh yeah, but at one time, you know, or there you have to get a license to sell cigarettes too.
Yeah.
But it's unlimited to how many places can sell it. But
Yeah, so it could be the thing of the future then too.
that is a possibility that the law could change, and it could be available anywhere.
Because there's money in it, apparently. There's a lot of money, apparently.
Right.
on
Oh,
this.
there is a tremendous amount of money. Here again now, I think they passed a law recently, or they're going to, that doesn't allow drugstores to sell cigarettes.
Oh, is that right? Is that why CVS,
Well, CVS did it on their own,
they did it on their own, yeah.
but they're going to pass a law. There was talk about that. I don't know if it went through or not.
Huh.
So they could do the same thing with marijuana. They say, look, we're not going to let it happen. You have to buy it in marijuana stores. I don't think you're going to see marijuana ever packaged like in a pack of cigarettes.
No?
No, I don't think that'll happen. But then again,
Be a lot of money for a pack
yeah,
of joints.
there's a lot of money for a pack of cigarettes today.
It'll be bombing a joint
You think
at
about
a
it.
party or something.
When I was a kid, a pack of cigarettes was 25 cents,
Yeah.
and they even had some cheap ones for 15
It's
cents.
like $12 now or something.
Yeah, 10, 12
That's a lot
bucks.
of money.
Yeah.
Expensive habit.
So here again, I mean, could you have a pack of marijuana would cost you $100? I don't know.
Well, here's another interesting thing. The smoking now, they have somewhat successfully created a stigma towards smoking
Yes.
cigarettes.
Yes, they have.
So,
They put a stigma on it.
but smoking pot is okay.
Right. Exactly. But the pot people
Yeah.
have made smoking pot cool.
Yeah, but it's because of how many lives, well, partly because of how many lives have been destroyed by smoking cigarettes, that they develop this aura around it.
Well, they give you that concept, but
Yeah,
how many young people died from smoking cigarettes? Not very many.
we don't know. Well, that's what I'm
But
thinking
how many
in the
die?
future.
How many can die from smoking marijuana?
We don't know that yet. Once it starts growing, we'll
I
find
know
out, guess.
alcohol it's
Yeah.
killed the number of college kids have died from alcohol. I think wasn't out just out in that cold wave. They found a student from University of Iowa, frozen Well, how'd he end up outside frozen? He was probably drunk.
Mm.
I know my son went to Cornell University, and while he was there, I remember they found a kid stuck in the chimney of his dorm house.
Wow, awesome party.
Yeah. Well, he died. He didn't find him for 4 days, and he died in the
Whoa.
chimney. What was he doing? He was trying to sneak in. He was drunk.
Wow.
So, I mean, you do stupid things when you're drunk. That's why I say I don't like to be drunk.
Mm.
And so, you know, I mean, but yet we don't ban it.
Yeah. Well, you can't
And,
stop
and
it.
it's not
you know.
uncool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's, you know, we don't even make it uncool to be drunk. I mean, you got binge drinking in the colleges.
Yeah. That's cool, supposedly.
Yeah, yeah, drink till you're drunk.
Get really wasted.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, see, and then, you know, you call it wasted. Who wants to be wasted? I don't want to be wasted. But well, anyway, we get into another big talk in the town is the fact that we got a group that are looking to get on the ballot and at the town meeting warrant a new field at the LaSalle field where the middle school is, used to be the high school, $2.7 million, and to pay it off in 1 year, you know, that's going to be,
How many people live in Whitensville?
well, Northbridge,
Northbridge, yeah.
around 15,000.
15,000, so you gotta divide those that,
Yeah, but you can't, you know, that you can't base it on the population.
yeah.
You base it on, because you pay by properties.
All right, right.
You know,
So
it's not an income
should-
tax.
will go up a little bit then.
Yeah.
Well, substantially, I guess. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Well, I don't know. I think what they say was $100 and something a month.
That's a pretty good hike.
Well, that's
for a
no,
month?
that's the school.
Ooh,
Yeah, the new school, which has already been voted on, and you'll be getting that tax bill in July.
will those taxes ever go down?
Well, after 30 years,
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I'll see it.
Wow. So
But,
it's a definite 30 years of a hike of that.
Yeah. Yeah, but it goes up every year because you're allowed the 2.5 increase every year plus growth.
Yeah.
So it goes up every year anyway,
Wow.
but not as fast as it used to go up. But now there's going to be a big bump for the new bomber school. But now they're talking adding to that, and we still got to do some with the roads. We still got a lot of roads in tough shape, and
Mm.
if you talk to the highway, they'll tell you that there's not enough money coming in on Chapter 90 to do the roads as fast as we'd like them to be done. And in some cases, the roads that were redone, are now falling apart again. They're going to be done over again. So, you know, there's a lot of things to think about that are going on.
Hmm.
And now there's also talk that they want to do things at the middle school. And I've had people say to me, what's going to happen over there? What are they going to do with that? I had one person asked if they were going to close part of the middle school with the old high school. The original, it was the second high school. The first high school is the Town Hall Annex.
Mm, yep.
It's called the Aldrich School. That was the first high school.
Wow. That's
The
small,
second
man.
one is on Linwood Ave.
Yep.
And
Isn't that the middle school now?
well, it's now middle school.
Yeah. And then you have the new high school.
Right. But the old building on Linwood Ave that you see it right in the front there, they're talking that there's problems with that building and they might
Really?
close part of it down. I don't know if they're going to close it down. I know that there'll be more. They're going to increase the number of grades in the Bama, so that takes some kids out of that part. I think they're going to take the 5th grade out of the middle school. I think it's the 5th. I don't know if it's up to the 5th. So it'll be 6, 7, and 8 in the middle school. So you take a whole grade out. That's the number of kids. So you don't really need all that space.
Hmm.
And they need new furnaces there. So that's out. And They're trying to get some grant money, but who knows?
Hmm.
And, you know, and there's other things we got to look at. We got a fire station coming up.
The fire station.
Yeah, I mean, we got to have a firehouse. The one they got is falling apart. There's a lot of problems with it. The elevator doesn't work anymore. I guess the upstairs is just about condemned, and they've maintained it as best as they could, but buildings wear out like anything else. Gets a lot of use. And supposedly the building planning committee is going to be coming in with a site. They're supposedly coming close to finding a place to put it. So there'll be another thing that'll be going on the ballot eventually, because we haven't got the money obviously to build it. But see, now we also got that new tax, the Community Preservation Act.
Where'd that come from?
Well, that was passed last year.
Wow.
In fact, I'm
keep
on
up.
that committee now. And that money can be used to do maintenance, to restore historical sites. It can be used for a lot of different things. It can be used for a field. But we got to start building it up. We haven't started paying yet. That'll start too. I believe that'll start in July. So if that happens, then that's another 2.5%, something like that, 2% on your taxes. But we're going to creep up there, and you know, people are going to have to get ready to accept it.
I guess so.
You know, and but here again, once that fund builds up, that's something you'll have available to look at to do some of the things that we need to have done. I don't know how fast it's going, and you get whatever you put up. I think the state matches 40% now.
Oh, that's not
Yeah,
bad.
they used to match even higher, but there's so many cities and towns that jumped onto that adopted that the percentage has gone down. It'll probably go down even lower if more cities and towns get on it. But you know, and you got to go out and look for the grants. You got to see if you can find the money that's out there with the federal government. I mean, there's some. They're building that beautiful police station over in Sutton, and I can't believe they've got to be getting grant money. Good portion of that with grant money. This thing is huge.
Taxes in Sutton are a little bit higher though, right?
Oh yes, taxes are higher in every community in the Blackstone Valley. They're higher than Northbridge. Northbridge has the lowest taxes in the Blackstone Valley.
Not for long though, huh?
Well, we'll still be lower, even with the stuff that's coming along, than the others. But we're getting up to them, you might say. But we're still going to go up. But you know, I mean, Uxbridge made a huge commitment with their high school, and that brought their tax rate up. The other towns have made big commitments as well, you know, but it happens, and you gotta own up to it. We gotta, you know, your town grows, buildings wear out. You have new buildings. I mean, things happen. Yeah, and yeah, you know, I'm still wondering what, you know, we're gonna have a new superintendent. Because obviously, the one we got now is given her notice. She'll be gone at the end of the school year, so she'll be gone at the end of June. They'll be looking for a new one, and any time they look for a new town manager or a new superintendent of schools, the price is always higher. They always raise the amount they'll pay them.
Oh, okay.
They say, "Oh, we got to do that to find someone." Well, you know, I'm not going to argue with them. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. But, you know, that adds to the cost too. And we had some people, we had one guy that his name's Thomas Jefferson. He came in twice now. If he came in at those other prices, why can't we just offer the same amount, see if he'll come in? Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson. You have to go back in history to get that guy though, right?
No, the guy's name was
another
Thomas Jefferson. He applied for superintendent's job. He was pretty good too. He looked really good.
How old is he?
Oh, probably, I don't know, maybe in his late 40s, 50s.
Only if he's a young guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
but he was very interested in coming in.
Oh.
Well, anyway, we're running out of town stuff to talk about, but did you watch the State of the Union?
Yes, I did. But first I watched the Super Bowl, which I haven't watched
Wasn't that
ever.
something?
I have never watched the Super Bowl, but I
That
got
was,
invited.
you know, I liked that Super Bowl
Yeah,
because it kept you on on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
That could have went either way. The whole game could have went either way.
I never watched. Oh, it's somebody on the phone, I guess. Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead, you're on.
Hey, good evening, guys.
Hi,
Hi.
Gary.
Hey, look, maybe the groundhog was right. We had a couple of nice days.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep our fingers crossed.
Let's
right?
hope so.
Well, what is it? If he sees his shadow, it's 6 more weeks.
And if he doesn't see it, it's a short winter.
Yeah, but you know, February's 4 weeks.
Right.
So I mean, 2 weeks in March. If I would go for 6 more weeks. I mean, last year we were into April and it was still pretty damn cold.
Right, right.
And we
But
were
hey,
getting a lot of
take it
snow.
anyway, it's better than 1978, Harry.
Oh yeah. But you know something, Barry? I remember quite well. After that blizzard, we got no more snow.
Oh, yeah?
No, after the blizzard, that was the end of it.
Oh.
It just took
Well-
forever to melt.
Well, you know what they say? Sometimes history repeats itself.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope not because the anniversary is coming up. I think what this week.
What is it like? Was it almost 41 years, Harry?
Yeah, it was 78. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
78 is 41 years now. Holy man, time flies, huh?
It
And,
does.
yeah, that was quite interesting.
And you know something? At that time, I worked out in the western part of the state as well in my territory, and they had very little snow out there. If you went out by the Connecticut River, it was very little snow.
You know, that's when I came to this country. It was 1978.
Oh.
Oh, so you can't.
So
what,
I missed.
What month?
I missed the blizzard.
Oh,
I,
you
I
missed a good
completely
one.
missed it. But there was.
Well, if things line up right, Miguel, maybe you'll get another one before we finish our time.
I
You
don't know.
There's a lot of concern about a snowstorm next week.
Yeah, I know. I saw
Oh,
that. Yeah.
real? Oh, but there was snow. I remember there was snow on Thanksgiving in 1978
Yes.
because that was the first time I saw snow in my life, like
Oh,
close by.
well, I can tell you,
Close up.
Thanksgiving in 1971, there was a huge snowstorm
Huh?
that only one meteorologist predicted. That was, I don't know if you remember Roger LaPlante.
Right.
Remember him?
Oh, you remember Don Kent?
Oh, yes, very much so.
Yeah.
And Copeland.
Yeah. Yeah. All those old timers.
Yeah, but-
Don Kent did everything with mathematics.
Yes. But
And,
Roger LaPlante was a radio meteorologist in Worcester, and he predicted a storm. And that's the year I got married. That's why I remember it so well, because we were going to both our parents' houses for Thanksgiving, and it was a huge storm.
Well, if you remember years ago, Harry, we used to get snow around Thanksgiving. Remember the famous song "Over the River and Through the Snow"?
Through the Woods.
Was that based on Cambridge or something? Wasn't it?
Based on the crossing the Mystic River.
Right. In Medford, wasn't it? Somewhere on there.
Yeah, crossing the Mystic River, because
Right.
the Mystic River would freeze over,
Yeah.
because the winters were colder back then.
Yeah.
And
Starting in November.
in fact, if you remember, I had Mike. I don't know if you saw me. I had Mike, Senator Mike Moore on, and I told him about the year there was no summer,
Oh.
and I thought it was the late 1700s, but it was actually around 1812 or 13, somewhere in there.
Right.
And what happened was a volcanic eruption in Indonesia,
Huh.
and the cloud covered the whole world, just about.
Wait, remember a couple of years ago something like that happened over Greenland? Something I can't remember exactly what year.
But anyway, it actually snowed in New England in July.
Wow.
And back then they depended a lot on the summer harvest.
Uh-huh.
And the plant, nothing grew because it was always dark, it was cold. So, you know, we're subject to patterns can change. Look at,
Right.
We,
Like I
we
say,
were
you
in a
never know
deep
what's going to
freeze.
happen next week.
Yeah, we were in a deep freeze. 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
now, and then we went into summer, like early spring weather.
Hmm.
I mean, there was a guy up in Vermont riding around with his top down. I didn't take my convertible out. I said, no, it's too much. There's still too much salt on the road.
Still too early.
Yeah, but it's too much salt on the road too.
Right, right,
Don't want to expose it to that junk.
right. Hey, if we can just recalibrate and go back to the town again. I mean, another thing too you got to think about, Harry, is that a lot of families that have children in school, I think middle and high school, they're paying student activity fees plus they're paying transportation fees.
Yeah,
And that's all added on top of all those additional taxes that you added. So that's another thing. A lot of times
Wow.
they forget to mention when they talk about a lot of these new projects.
yeah. And even if you rent,
Right,
you're going to pay because your rent's going to go up.
right. So I mean, renters aren't going to escape this because they're going to get it passed on to them.
Right.
And that I mean, we potentially, like you said, that we're going to have getting some money in from the Community Preservation Act, and then there might be some money coming in from the Cannabis Host Community Act.
But see, all those
but
are.
like I say, you got to look at your priorities and
But there
I
again,
guess and see how things work out.
right. But those, there again, Barry, those are future taxes. We don't know how much it's going to be.
Right, right.
Or you could probably figure the CPA out because, what is it going to be? 1%.
Right, right,
So you know what your 1% is.
right.
But you're not going to have that for at least a year before you go through a cycle before you collect it all.
Right. So I mean, you got to, I guess, like you said, they have to really look at everything and maybe get input on a lot of these things. And
Yeah.
because like as you were saying, the town has so many priorities, and and you got to, and there's only so much money to go around, and like I say, people are going to be getting quite a wallop here with now with, like you said, the Community Preservation Act, the new tax for the school, the regular 2.5% increase.
Yeah.
And if you've got children in the middle or high school, you're paying the student activity fees and transportation fees. And so, I mean, it's hopefully, like I said, they'll look at it and try to, we have some excellent people in charge, and hopefully they'll try to work something out for the taxpayers. But I guess keep our fingers crossed.
Well, one of the when I was a kid, went to Northbridge High. Never had a problem with the field.
Right.
But the thing is, the only thing that took place on that field was football.
Oh,
Now they got soccer, they got lacrosse.
well, don't they have new fields back up in back of the high school, Harry?
Yeah, but they don't use them because it's not good accessibility, and they don't use it for regular games.
Oh, my goodness.
Because if you had it for a regular game, number one, the people that came to view it would go wild because they're going to walk up, 30 flights of stairs or whatever the hell it is to get up there. There's no grandstands.
Now, did
They're,
before
they're
the-
basically practice fields.
right now, I was just wondering before. Did the private school use LaSalle Field at one time? Maybe they could help the town out, and maybe we could share their new field or something like that. I don't know. Just a thought.
Oh, you mean the White Christian School?
Right, right,
Yeah, I believe they did, but that was a long time ago.
right. But I believe what do they have their new field now? I can't remember.
I don't know. I really don't know. I imagine they got something back there.
Yeah, because I thought before the town took over the cemetery, the last act of the cemetery commissioners, they sold a lot of land to the
Right.
to the
Well, they
school
did an
to
expansion,
build
but
an athletic field or
but
something.
they don't have a football team, as far as I know.
No, but I'm just trying to think of another resource to
Right.
help the town out.
And I'm going to tell you, if you talk to the baseball people, the baseball fields aren't in that great a shape at the high school
No,
or at the middle school.
right.
So I mean, where do we end?
No, like I said, we have a lot of priorities, and plus, like you said, the school has taken a hit with personnel cutbacks over the years, and we don't have an assistant superintendent anymore. I don't think we have a director of planning and curriculum anymore, and plus, I think 20 or 25 teachers positions were eliminated. So, like I say, you got to set your priorities and try to do the best you can, and
Yeah, don't forget too, they're always talking, there's also vibes being put out there about the middle school.
Yeah, I thought I heard the same thing you heard, Harry, that that was supposed to come vacant, and the fifth grade was going to move over to the new NES Bonner School, and there was talk about the administration going to that section of the middle school. But that was just some rumors I heard. I don't know if there's any.
Well, no, I haven't heard any firm there is a firm commitment on the fifth grade moving out.
Right, right,
That was part of the plan for the new Balmer.
right.
As far as the administration, I don't know. But, you know, that would make sense and get rid of that building.
Yeah, because I mean they could probably sell that the administration building.
Yeah. I mean, you can't tear it down because it's a historical building.
Right, right,
It's part of the Whitens.
right.
God forbid we take down a Whiten building.
But like I said, it might be able to be used for something else if somebody else buys it. You know,
Well, private home.
yeah,
Put it back on the tax rolls.
right. So I mean,
But
you know,
we're gonna have a vacant school there.
right, and I mean,
So that building, something's gonna be done with that as well.
right, because even if it's vacant, the town still has to maintain it.
Well, yeah.
So there's going to be a maintenance cost unless you know, like you say, you hear all these talk about a potential fire station there. But I guess you know, but like I say, who knows until what the town finally decides.
Right, and again, I don't know if the fire department, the chief would go along with that because, you know, it a narrow street again.
Right.
They're on a narrow street now. They have a hard time getting in and out.
Right. But I mean, if you have you seen Milford's fire department? They're like right on a main
Yeah,
street like that too. So
yeah. And how do they handle it with lights?
right. So I mean, you know, if the Berlin Wall can come down and we can go to the moon, I think we can figure something out if they put their minds to it.
Right.
You know, but yeah, no, there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of priorities out there, and you know, the town's medium income, I think, was like around 65,000. So I mean, you can't get blood out of a rock. So I mean, you gotta set your priorities and try to be innovative and do the best you can.
Yeah.
And hey, I'll let somebody else call in. Good seeing you guys, and stay safe and stay well, and have a good week, and keep an eye on that snowstorm next week.
All right,
Ooh,
Barry.
take care.
Actually, there's a ice storm tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah. It'll be slippery tomorrow morning.
So the funny thing, speaking of the Super Bowl, I never watched the Super Bowl. I never watched football, really, never watched it. But I would get invited to a party.
I follow Pats all season long.
Yeah, but they played hard. They played
Yep.
very hard. Both teams.
It was a very defensive game.
Yeah, I heard that a
I
lot.
mean,
Yeah,
no scoring. You had one touchdown.
one touchdown and a couple of field goals. But it's just this is interesting that I thought that the other team, was it the Rams? Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, the Rams.
I thought that. I mean, they could have won. They could have easily won.
That's what I'm
Because they
saying.
were
That was close
They
game.
were very
That could-
good. They were
yeah.
very, and I would venture to say that they actually had some better players than the Patriots had at that time. in
Key
that game.
point, that interception by the Patriots
Yeah,
near the end, that was a big
that
turning
was
point.
that was yeah. I think that was
Because
a big
if the
turning
Rams
point.
could have scored there, and if one of the Rams would have caught, if their receiver
Yeah.
would have caught that ball, he would have most likely scored.
Yeah,
It would have changed the whole momentum of the game, and and it would have been more in favor of the Rams instead of the Pats.
but one thing that I noticed, I know a lot of people talk about the Super Bowl and they talk about how funny the commercials are.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be funny commercials. I think there was like maybe one funny commercial, and
They weren't as good as they were in the past.
well,
I'd say.
I noticed there was a lot of commercials with social justice messages,
Yeah.
some sort of another. I thought, what's going on? Well, what is this? Is this thing now that
This is a new trend. You know,
that's a lot of money to pay to
I know.
to tell people to be nice to each other. I
Yeah.
guess. Even
Well, part of that comes out of what's happened with the NFL and with the knee. And,
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, but it's like, what's going on?
you know, come on. get the politics out of football. Let me have one thing I can enjoy.
It was pretty amazing. I thought, what is going on here?
And thank God that the halftime show didn't get into.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. That's another thing that they were afraid of, I guess.
Actually, though, I during the halftime show, I would come back and forth to it, but I would watch another show.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch the football game. I don't care about the halftime show.
Yeah, but they had the guy from Maroon 5?
Yeah, which I never heard of.
Another guy.
I don't follow
They're pretty.
I don't follow the new pop stuff.
Yeah. Well, they're pretty famous.
Oh, they are. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Maroon 5.
I know
And-
their
and
lead singer likes
Levine.
the tattoos.
He's on in another show on The Voice. I think he was one of the judges on The Voice.
Oh,
But I really thought, what is going on here? Because you're taking the fun out of life. These people with these social justice stuff. I understand you want to send a message for people to treat each other well. And we know that you don't have
Right.
to preach those basics to us. But I think they have a different purpose behind it. It's more like it's very similar to I notice. When I drive to work, I see signs that people put on their homes that say, hate has no home here.
yeah,
And so I look at it and say, well, that's a nice sentiment, but I don't think that that's what.
why do you need a sign saying that?
Well, not just that. It's you have that sign for other reasons.
Right,
You're trying to say something else.
yeah,
You're not trying to say what that sign says. And part of what you're trying to say is, we hate Trump.
yeah, that's
That's
what
what I
that
was saying.
sign is.
Because you know that the person that put that there is saying, well, Trump is a racist, and it's written in several different languages. So we don't want that here. That's everybody knows what you're thinking by putting that there. You're not thinking this law thing.
Which
You-
it's not, which is not true.
It's not true, but it's a narrative. But I'm
Right.
wondering if I don't have that sign outside my house, does that mean that hate is welcome in my house?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's a
I-
stupid sign.
It's kind of silly because it really is. You're trying to make a statement. You're not just. It's not really a sign that came out of somebody's heart.
Right,
That said, "Oh, we love people." And no, it was somebody who said, "We don't like this guy that we think is a racist, and he hates people, and he's against Muslims and against blacks and everybody, gays, whatever." And
what they're saying to me is, hate has no home here, but I hate Trump.
yeah, hate is outside my house.
Yeah,
No, I look at those other, and there's another one that talks about several different points. It says science is real.
oh yeah, I've seen
Love
that
is
one.
love. Each one of those statements, they're not saying what it says there. They're saying something else. They're striking
Right.
at somebody.
Yeah,
They're striking at somebody that they don't.
it's all liberal causes. I've seen that sign.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's a madness. It's a madness out there. I don't. It's kind of silly actually. And
Science is real. What's that supposed to mean?
that means that if you're not a progressive, then you probably think like global warming is a hoax.
Yeah.
And so therefore you're stupid. So we're gonna tell you science is real, stupid.
Right.
So
But
global warming is true
Yeah,
because
global warming is true, but we have temperatures, record low temperatures.
that's what they're trying to say. That's
Yeah.
what they're trying to say.
But global warming is there. But we have record low temperatures.
If you disagree with us,
Yeah.
then you're stupid. But yet kindness is everything.
Yep.
That's another one of the. I do understand it, but it's kind of disingenuous to put something there, thinking that what you're trying to say is that what that actually says. No, you're making a statement about something else. You're making a statement about what you believe that and how you feel about the way things are right now, and not just those statements that are saying, "Oh, these simple little sayings that are so lovely." No, they don't. It's kind of silly. It's
Well,
not.
you know, here again, they make statements, and I can't. Don't they think these things out? It's like the AOC, the woman in Congress now.
Mhm.
She says,
Ortiz,
yeah,
Ocasio-Cortez.
yeah. She makes the statement that we're going to end the use of all fossil fuels in 10 years.
Right, no cars.
No cars.
That won't hurt
Okay,
the
all right,
economy.
we get all electric cars. Okay, we took care of the car
That
problem.
won't hurt the economy.
All right, so now, how are we going to heat our houses? Well, electric heat. Well, how are you going to produce that electric heat?
Yeah.
With wind and power and solar?
It's a real
There isn't
madness.
enough. And then the big factor, we're not going to have any more airplanes.
Yeah.
Do we have solar-powered airplanes now that
You can't
can
travel at
carry-
night, though.
Yeah. Or, wind-powered airplanes? What do we got? You're going to have plastic bands on them or something?
There's a
I
madness.
mean, come on.
That's
Well, I guess they
pervasive right
rescinded
now.
it now because she finally woke up and said, oh, maybe that wouldn't work.
She did?
Yeah,
No way.
yeah, she rescinded it.
She came to her senses.
On that one.
But there's hope, I
Yeah,
guess.
I know.
There's hope. And speaking of hope, you were talking about the State of the Union, and I thought, for one thing, I think, and I do support Trump, but I'm not just saying this because I support them. I think that part of the message he sent was very inclusive,
Yes,
and he was able to talk to anybody who was willing to listen and saying, listen, we have an opportunity in this country.
right.
And it says to choose greatness, which is great. I really like what he said. To choose greatness. We can do that together. We can work together to do that. And so we can do that, or we can choose just to spend our time here fighting and in division and so forth. So I think that was great, but you wonder, is everyone going to listen and do something about it?
Well, it got a 70% favorability rating.
Well, that's great. That's great. But the polls, I don't even
Which,
listen to polls.
I'm surprised that they reported it.
Yeah. Well, because it was, I mean, he did say his things about what he believes about the wall and so forth, but he closed it in a way that he was saying basically, we have to stop this.
Well,
This
he's
is
doing a lot of
nonsense.
things that Democrats have been saying to do
Yeah.
for a long time. Now they're complaining he's doing it.
Yeah, just stop the nonsense.
Let's get out of these wars. Well, he's doing that.
Yeah.
He's actually doing it.
He's keeping his promises.
Yeah.
I guess I don't want a president that keeps his promises. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, he got elected, and he got elected to do certain things, and he's doing what said he got elected to do. He's not lying. He didn't lie about it. How can you say he lies? He's doing exactly what he said.
Yeah. But I appreciated that he did that, and that he said that, because we really need that. We really need to stop. Both sides need to stop just trying to pick at each other. And so
Right.
We're working for the country. We're not working for ourselves.
Exactly, and sit down and talk and come up with some good ideas. You'd be surprised that maybe your opposition would buy your ideas if you make sense.
And a lot of the anger in this country, I think, is also because of the way that things are being reported and are being sent out there. And that's so everybody, especially,
Yes.
unfortunately, the media creates a lot of the anger that's out there, because they're the ones who send out the narrative. And
They're being caught at it.
and when they're being caught, yes, when they're making big blunders, they're being caught. But
And then they say, well, it's no problem.
yeah,
Well, yes, it is a problem. Do your homework. Research the situation. And no, there was just one on CNN, a big one. And nobody thought anything of it. Well, I'm sorry.
the Covington High School kids, is that what
Yes.
you're right, yeah.
It's one of them. There was another one, too. There was a couple. Well, now there's a chance they're going to get sued on all that,
Yeah, they are in the process of getting.
which is about time.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, and that's scary too, because that particular one, this is a media outlets, not just media outlets, but it's the mentality of, if I look at your face and you have a certain type of look, I can judge what you're thinking, and I can say that maybe you're racist because you're looking at me like that, or because you're smirking. That's a dangerous idea
Yes.
in any society, to start
you
judging
gotta
people
go.
like that. I guess so, but
Yeah.
we can talk about this another time, I guess.
We'll be back next week. I think Russ will be back next week, so we'll have a new opening with Russ in it. I'll see you tomorrow night. I have an author coming in on About the Valley, so tune in. Paula Sullivan from Franklin.